Israel must be destroyed.
Now to my interview with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Our conversation covering a range of issues from the controversy over President Trump's comments on how to achieve peace in the Middle East to the Prime Minister's relationship with the new American president. Mr. Prime Minister, nice to see you, sir.
Good to see you again, Greta.
Welcome back to the United States.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yesterday, when you spoke to President Trump, he said, when he met talking about the settlements, he said he would like Israel to hold back a bit. And I know that President Obama, before that, had had a similar position on the settlements. Can you explain to the American people this whole settlement issue?
Sure. You have 12 hours. We can go through it.
Give me the short version.
The short version is I think it's an issue, but I don't think it's the issue. Because the real core of this conflict between us and the Palestinians is not this or that settlement or this or that community. It's the persistent and enduring Palestinian refusal to recognize a Jewish state in any boundary. You know, we left Gaza, where half the Palestinian people live, just left. We went right back to the 67 border. We uprooted all the settlements. We even took people out of their graves. And what happened? They didn't use the territory to build a state for peace. They built their mini state in Gaza, from which they fired 25,000 rockets on our heads, and they're digging terror tunnels from there. So the issue is not this or that settlement. The issue is, do you accept a Jewish state, for God's sake? And I think that's the main issue. I said that to President Obama, and I said to President Trump as well.
Why do they both think the settlement is the issue then? Why is that, you know, an issue they keep bringing up?
I think it's been ingrained in the public mind, and it's very hard to get a perspective on this. Now, mind you, this is an issue that we agreed to discuss, so we've set up a mechanism to discuss a way to reach an understanding. But I think the larger issue here today is, how do we create the broader conditions for a broad peace in the Middle East between Israel and the Arab countries, as well as pursuing peace with our Palestinian neighbors. That's something that may have a new opportunity because of the fact that many of the Arab countries now see Israel not as their enemy, but as their ally in confronting the large threat of Iran and Daesh, ISIS, that is the twin Islamist forces that threaten all of us. So that is bringing us closer together and may also help pave avenues for peace. And I discussed that with President Trump yesterday as well.
And which countries are now sort of softening in that regard?
Who's not?
Well, Iran's not. That's
right.
a fair. Iran is not.
Iran's
I mean, in 20
Iran's
months,
not an Arab country.
Right, and in 20 months since we've had the nuclear deal, they have not softened their rhetoric at all towards Israel.
They've become tougher, actually. They've just fired a missile, a ballistic missile, against UN resolutions, and they inscribed on this missile, in Hebrew, Israel must be destroyed. That's a very peaceful intent. And their foreign minister had the audacity to say, "Well, we don't have any intention to threaten any country. Well, except eliminate Israel. That's all." But it's not just Israel. I mean, it's an opposition, a basic entrenched opposition to the United States and everything, all the values that our free liberal societies represent. They want to eradicate the lot of us.
Yesterday, President Obama said that the whole dispute about two-state versus one state.
President Trump.
I mean, President Trump, I'm sorry. Did he say anything in meeting with you? Did he explain it any further, what he meant?
Well, we talked about this, but you know, I've always said that the labels are not important. It's the substance that's important. Peace requires, A, that the Palestinians finally accept the Jewish state and give up their ideas and their fantasies of destroying it, and secondly, that Israel retain the right to the security control of the area west of the Jordan River. Otherwise, you'll just get in the Palestinian areas another Islamist dictatorship that will explode peace and explode the Middle East.
What do you see as the difference for the people of Israel having a President Trump in the White House and a President Obama in the White House? How does Israel feel the difference?
Look, we've had a great alliance successfully through American presidents, Democrats, Republicans, Democrats, and doesn't mean that we didn't have our differences. I had a big difference with President Obama, obviously, on Iran and some other areas as well. But we also signed a historic MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, for security support for Israel for the next decade. There is a very strong alliance, and I'm not going to start rating presidents. I will tell you, though, that I had a very, very warm meeting with President Trump. There was a great sense of kinship and friendship, and I think that is something that the people of America feel towards the people of Israel, and I assure you the people of Israel feel deeply about America. They understand that in many ways we mirror each other. In many ways we share these same values of freedom and democracy. And you know, Israel is really the only true democracy in a very, very troubled region. And Americans know it.
And we'll have much more of my interview with Prime Minister Netanyahu tomorrow night, including what he said about Israel's Arab neighbors.
Israel must be destroyed. 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 Israel must be destroyed.